Welcome to Brains Gone Bold. We're happy to have you here with us, joining another road trip that we will certainly take together, different places and detours. We're happy to have you again.
I like the idea of a road trip.
I do too. We should go on a real road trip.
Yes, we totally should.
Where would we go?
Ooh, I definitely want to go someplace warm. I'm serious. I would like to maybe go along like the lower half, like I-40 takes you through like Louisiana, Texarkana, Texas. Texarkana is not the place. Arkansas.
Okay. Did you see the confusion on my face by chance? I was trying to pretend like I knew what you were saying.
Well, Texarkana is a place like in between. Okay. But Arkansas, Texas, and then New Mexico. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Okay.
That's too long, though. That is too long.
We'd get sick of each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
But would you use your blinkers?
Absolutely use my blinkers.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So for today, we wanted to follow up because on a previous episode, we kind of landed somewhere. We ended in a place that we thought we could explore a little bit more. And that is, can two things be true at once? And we can approach this topic from a lot of different angles. You and I have spoken about this a little bit in different contexts. So where do you want to begin with this?
So I said, as we wrapped another episode, something like, spoiler alert, yes, because in some cases, obviously, I believe wholeheartedly, but that's true. And so I want to start there simply because I want to harken back. But I think let's give some examples of what we mean when we say, can two things be true at once? And something I said to you is, can you be in a room full of people and still feel lonely?
Yes.
And the answer to that is for sure yes.
Absolutely.
But then there's deeper ones about lying and still being a good person and, you know, all of that. And we can go into that more. And then there's those more simplistic ones about, you know, if I wear fake eyelashes and a push-up bra and I have a ton of makeup on, you know, am I a different person or am I trying to be somebody I'm not? You know, so is that the two things? And so I think there's a lot of interesting,
and
you know, places.
One of the, a while back, you and I had started talking about this as well. And one of the things that came up in that conversation was also, as another example, you know, things are not always as they seem. And can it be true that, you know, just taking, again, very materialistic things as an example. I remember growing up, my dad would take me past these homes that were mansions. And I was in such awe at those houses. And it became kind of really part of what I really wanted for my life and so forth. And now as I've gotten older and I realize what comes with that in a lot of cases, or in some other cases, I've talked to people who go into those houses to do work or for other reasons and have said literally, a lot of those houses, people barely have furniture because they can't afford it. So, you know, in talking, we can look at that from both perspectives, you know, about what can you believe? Can two things be true in that? And there's just like a lot to explore. So, So
I look at that before you get off I know we might go back to it. I think about those houses. And of course, this is not everybody. I mean, some of the houses are very well appointed and have great furniture and but they're the ones that don't, the ones that is it, you know, the superficial lifestyle that they want to show on the surface versus the truth, or is it both in that I aspire to this, so I'm going to live this way until I achieve this. Like, you know what I mean? Those different things.
Well, and there's also the other side to it, which I also know plenty of folks who are on this side of it, which is they live well below their means. And so from the outside, they appear to not have a lot going on, but they actually are very wealthy and so on and so forth. And so,
is that stuff not important to them? Like, you know, what's the reason for that? But Okay. So where do you want to dig first?
Wow.
Find the bodies. Where are you digging?
So the juiciest one for me, I hate to use that terminology, but you know what it is.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I would think it's about can you lie and be a good person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
Yeah. Or can you lie and still be trustworthy?
Oof.
I'd even go so far as to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want you to start because I want to follow your lead on this and not, because I can go into some deep, deep holes and I don't want to.
Well, I think this one is going to send us quite quickly into that hole because I was not necessarily expecting this one, but so, I tend to be a person who sees a lot of different sides of a story. So much so that it's my own detriment sometimes because I can have a hard time deciphering what my own opinion is sometimes because I can see both sides so easily. In other cases, I'm way more black and white. And I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten way more cynical and way less trusting of people in general. And I don't know exactly what caused it or when it began, except for the fact that I have a really hard time if someone has lied to me, believing anything they say.
Yeah.
And and that might be harsh. Believing anything they say might be a little harsh, but it's always like in the back of my mind,
If they told me a lie about this, what else are they lying about?
Yeah. And so that question of, can someone lie and also be trustworthy?
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know what I think. However, I don't agree with that. I think that there are a number of reasons why people lie, and there's a sliding scale of things that people lie about. And so both of those things intersect somewhere on this grid of that's awful to that's nothing. And so I think we've also talked about, to me, intention is such a big deal. And so if the intent to harm or the intent to, whether the harm is to me or even to themselves, then I tend to react a little bit more harshly to it. But for the most part, like we've talked about, I think from the storytelling, entertainment, comedy standpoint, embellishment and, telling something that is wider, longer, bigger, fatter, smaller, just for the sake of the story. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. And it also would not, lead me down. Are they telling me the truth about this other thing? And so I wouldn't even second guess the fact that they might not be truthful in other things. It wouldn't even come into my mind. Yeah.
I want to know what that's like.
I'm noticing a theme.
Freeing. Yeah, I know.
And I will tell you that it feels like a simple-minded theme on my part. Maria is so rich and complex and layered, and Jeanine is just so simple. She's like a golden retriever.
She doesn't really care about much.
Although she is judgmental.
Very.
But seriously,
she cares about water flossing a lot.
I care about water flossing a lot. It really would not, and it does not. I mean, it happens now. I'm a fully formed human, and I have interact with people all the time. So no, it doesn't. I
genuinely admire. I do admire that simplicity. I know we're laughing, but I really do admire that because I overanalyze things too much, especially in this realm. So when you talk
in this realm,
well, in this topic. Sorry.
Okay. Because it doesn't matter.
I said the wrong word.
No, you didn't. It still works.
So listen.
I thought you were living on another plane. And so in this
yes.
Spit too.
We have talked about this outside of the podcast. So I am well aware of your feelings on it. I don't think we expected to necessarily go into this today as deeply as we already are. But you use the word intent. And I think that's really important. And I like to keep the word intent front of mind in my daily life, generally speaking. And you said intent to harm. Is there an intent to harm? My argument to what you're saying is anytime someone is telling a lie, there is an intent to deceive.
Mm-hmm.
And deceit is harmful.
I think that's a judgment call.
I need more examples.
So, well, the one that comes to mind, like so clearly for me, is comedy. You know, they are being deceitful in some cases. You know, I told you last night, I was talking about Leanne Morgan and how she calls her husband Chuck Morgan. That's for comedic effect. But she tells everybody, oh, I call him Chuck Morgan all the time. No, she doesn't. You can't tell me that she doesn't go honey, hun, sugar. At home, she's like, hey, Chuck Morgan, will you take the laundry out and put it, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. So for comedic effect, she is saying, well, Chuck Morgan and I, well, okay, great. And it is funny. I love when she does that. Well, that is deceitful. She's not telling me a truth. But am I sitting here going, she is a lying sack of piece? Like, who does she think I am? Like, I'm not falling for that crap. Like, no.
But
it's a sliding scale.
That's a performance, though.
That's a good example.
That is a performance.
Of course it is.
And it's
so you go in knowing that.
Yes, it's expected in that environment that this person's not going to necessarily be telling the truth. They're going to be making shit up. They're going to be not telling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a non-performative example.
Okay.
Do you believe in Santa? Did you tell your child that Santa was real?
Yes. And I will tell you, and this makes me such a prude. And I see that. Believe me, I see that. I hated it.
And so when he figured it out, were you like, oh, thank God we can actually talk freely now?
I felt relief. There was a little bit of sadness because that meant he was growing up. And obviously I loved the magic in his eyes and everything. But yes, when I pretended that there was a Santa, I felt like I am lying through my teeth to my child, and that is not okay. Yes.
I'm going to clap right now. We're going to end this right now.
But seriously, I know it makes me such a prude.
It doesn't make you a prude because is just, no, does not make you a prude. It is an interesting, I want to say odd. It is interesting. However, do you then think you're a big fat liar because you believed in the or you wanted him to believe in the magic? So do you not believe anything that you're saying to him in the future? No. So now you have license to lie constantly because you did the one lie and kept up with it for years and years?
No.
Okay, so then why is there a double standard? You still did it. You still lied to him. Does it make you a bad person?
Well, that's what we're trying to explore here.
Oh, great. So it was the intent behind it.
Yeah.
Your intention was for good. You wanted to preserve the magic. You wanted him to have the experience. And so you went along with the lie. And we all know, some of us know that Santa is not real. But the other thing that I would say about Santa without going down that
not safe for children's ears, by the way.
Well, we'll put something on here, disclaimer. It represented something else, right? So that, could be a good example, could be a bad example, but, I'm obviously pushing the point on a lie. And that's a lie that so many people, tell and perpetuate and, media, all the stuff. But there's other little lies. And so I've got another possible example, and this is maybe an ethics conversation, but it's still a lie. And I've given you this example before. So I had this in my ethics class in college, and it has stayed with me for X number of years. So if you are the child of an elderly parent with Alzheimer's and the other parent passed, and let's just say your father passed, your mother is alive, and you go to see your mom and she's like, where's your father? And he's passed, but she doesn't remember he's passed. And so you tell, well, mom, dad passed. And she mourns his loss. And then the next day, same thing. And the next day, do you continue to tell her that he passed, knowing she's going to forget and have to mourn him all over again? Or do you just not tell her he's in the restroom because she's going to forget? So what is the right thing to do? You're lying when you tell her that he's in the bathroom or he's at dinner or he's playing golf, whatever. You're lying. Is that an okay lie to tell or not? And I remember we were in table teams and we were talking about it, and people were staunchly, you can't lie. And she's going to forget that she was upset and all of the kind of stuff. And so I would tell her the truth. Well, I was not a proponent of truth in that because it would break my heart to break her heart every single day. Mm-hmm. Right. And so to me, that's the intention. Yeah. My intention is not to harm and it's to protect. And so from a protection standpoint, yeah, no, I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. So it's a dilemma. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, let's just say you were in that situation or your significant other was, and he chose to tell the lie every day to his mother. Mm-hmm. Would you then think, oh, he's lying to me all the time because he's lying to her?
That's hard. That's tough.
It is.
It is so tough.
It is.
Yeah, because I actually I can definitely see your side to that.
And I can really see the other side as well.
I really can, which is, what is the point in continuing to break her heart?
Right.
And continuing to make her grieve? And I mean, she may or may not remember that, of course, but
she is in the moment.
Yeah. And right. That I can see there's a protection piece to it in that situation. Mm-hmm. I want to get to the point where it's not an issue. Mm-hmm. It's not a concern. Of like, okay, you've told this one little white lie. That means that you can't be trusted at all. Mm-hmm. Because I don't discriminate on that for anybody.
Right. Absolutely. And so you see, again, I'll put myself in this. So you see me telling my mom, Dad is playing golf. Yeah. Oh, okay. And you see me doing that. Mm-hmm. Do you come away from that experience then going, wow, Jeanine had no problem lying to her mom?
Yeah, I would. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm saying that from the angle of assuming I'm coming away from that experience, not having the context that you just shared with me ahead of time.
Right.
And I probably would not have been able to see it in the moment. So, having the context that I do now, I might not feel that way, but generally speaking, yeah, I would absolutely come away from that like, wow, she very easily lied to her mother. Mm-hmm. And so how many lies has she told me?
Right.
Right. And so, yeah. It
is one of those things where I think a certain amount of, again, for me, I said it was really clear that intention plays a huge role in it. But I also think there's a bit of discernment because you and I have talked through some other examples and there's some really simple, people, men who wear lifts in their shoes that you can't see. Mm. And then, so you go on a date with them and they are, I don't know, I talk about dating a lot.
Yeah.
But you go out with somebody and they are your same height or taller. Mm-hmm. And then you go to another experience where they don't have, so maybe they were in sneakers or something. And you're like, wait, you were taller.
Yeah.
So what else are they stuffing their package? Like what else are they being deceitful about? Right. That could be important to some people.
Yeah.
Height is really important to me because I'm tall. And so whatever. How, where is that line?
I know. I was just going to ask you that.
I don't think that person was being deceitful because they were trying to get one over on me. That was a statement about themselves and their own insecurity in their height or whatever. And so the discernment that I'm talking about comes in with considering the intent, considering why they decided to wear lifts. Were they that uncomfortable, whatever. And so that's important to me. I don't want to take things at face value. I want to go deeper. And so you saying, if you didn't have the context in me lying to my mom and came away going, she just lied to her really easily without going up to me or questioning me later and going, hey, your dad's dead, isn't he? Why did you tell your mom that? And not give me the opportunity to go, we do this every day and every day she mourns. And so I'm trying to spare her that hurt. Then you hear it. And so that's the part for me that I would be really pissed at you to not give me that opportunity.
Yeah.
And, to assume the worst about me instead of thinking there could be something else. And so that is something that I think I do really well. When somebody does something, I don't immediately go, this asshole, how dare they? Instead, I think, why would they do that? What happened? So
being more curious about the reason.
Being more curious.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you were talking, one of the things that occurred to me, I hadn't realized before, is when someone lies to me, it feels so personal
Mm.
in the sense of I would like to believe that I am I want to be seen as a person that others can be themselves around.
Okay.
And others can just tell me or show me their whole selves
Mm-hmm.
and not have to worry about putting on a face or telling a story or embellishing or whatever it is. So when I'm lied to, it feels like, why do you not feel like I'm a person that you can tell the truth to?
Interesting.
And what have I done to make you feel like you cannot tell me the truth?
Mm-hmm. Does
You know?
it depend on the lie? Or they're all lies? I mean, if it's not true, then it's a lie. Or is there a scale of what would be?
I feel like I have gotten to this place where if it's not true, it's a lie.
Okay.
I didn't always used to be this way. I don't know why this happened. I really don't. I've become so black and white. And I want to be very clear. I'm not pretending that I've never lied. I mean, you brought up like Santa. I mean, of course. I mean, we've all, you know, it's not like I'm perfect, but, you know, yeah.
I want to test the edges of this. I'm just really curious.
Yeah.
So if you go into a restaurant and they bring you your burger, the burger is, it's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
And the waiter comes over, how'd you like your burger? And you go, oh, it's fine. No, it's good. Because it's like, it's not that important. You're not going to send it back, whatever. So it's good.
Yeah.
And they walk away. Is that a lie? Did you just tell a lie?
Yes.
And if I did that.
But I do it. I absolutely do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now let's flip it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating the same burger. I don't like it at all. The waiter comes over and I'm like, yeah, no, it's good. Thanks. And they leave. Are you going, she just lied to them? What is she lying to me about?
Mm.
Right. I'm trying to see, is a lie a lie a lie? I don't know. And so I do think that there's some edges there that maybe it's not all. And is it because you know me? I don't know. If a stranger that you were just meeting for the first time said, this burger is disgusting, and then did nothing about it. Waiter comes over, says, how's your burger? Oh, it's good. And then walked away.
Yeah.
Would you be like, this person is a liar?
Right.
I still wouldn't think this person is a liar. They're saving face. There's no reason to tell that guy. He's not going to do anything about it. He doesn't care. You didn't want to send it back. Like, so what, like, whatever. I don't have a conversation with the guy. That's usually why sometimes I lie.
I would say that's true for me when I say it's fine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I didn't go, it's the best burger I've ever had. Oh my God. My compliments to the chef.
Right.
Right. Now that to me is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? But if you just because you don't have a conversation about something that is so unimportant.
Yeah.
And so that's why I keep saying it's a sliding scale. Is it important? Is it like, what's the impact? What's the intent? What's the this? There's so many variables that go into it that it's not black and white. It just, for me, like, I'm not saying you should feel, Maria, you should feel differently.
I mean, that's not what we're doing here. Actually, in this case, I'm asking you to help me feel differently because I don't like how I feel.
Yeah. That requires a couch.
Help me be better with lying.
I'm offering a class. $19.99. I'm your girl. So yeah, maybe what we'll do is I will draw a grid for you and put the variables. And then
I would love that actually. I don't know if you're being serious, but I would love that.
I mean, I do listen, it's not drawn out of my head. Yeah. But if I were to visualize it because you were pressing on the issue, I do think about it as a grid. And one of those things is importance of the issue, impact. Yeah. Like I could see. And then you just plot this is a no-go zone. If it falls in this area, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad that somebody's lying to me. The other thing that we talked about last night is when it's a child, all bets are off. Your child owes you the truth.
Yeah.
Unless of course they made something for you for your birthday and they don't want you to know yet. Like there's again, sliding scale pieces, but they owe you the truth because the harm then is typically on them. So they've put themselves in a position that they shouldn't be in. They've gone somewhere they shouldn't go. They've done something they shouldn't do. Like that's a completely different, we're talking about adults who make adult choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to be real clear about that.
Yeah. That is an important differentiator for sure. That was helpful for me because I immediately went to my son and, how do we do this?
Right.
But, so yes, I would love to see your chart.
Okay.
And
if I make one, I will also post it on our Facebook group page so that they can see it. Yep.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. Here are acceptable lies and not.
No, I'm not going to make a list. It'll be a little ratings chart of how you can determine if this is something you should be bad at or let it go.
This is a framework, a lying framework.
It's a black and white versus gray framework. Yeah.
No, I genuinely, I really want to hear not only your thoughts, but if there's anyone else who has thoughts about this that are contrary to my own, I do want to hear those opinions because it shows up for me almost daily where I'm questioning like,
Yes.
And it just causes this like strife that is, I hope, unnecessary.
Right. Well, so the other thing that we talked about, which I think was the flip side, I'm not going to like put other people in the story. Like I only give my examples or your examples. But the other person does, like I've noticed this person when they tell an untruth, it's typically because of protection for themselves. They are afraid of, and I don't mean like physically afraid, maybe it is physical, I don't know, afraid of what the other person that they're lying to is going to do or say if they tell the truth. And so they've developed this mechanism over time is to tell them kind of what they think they want to hear in order to avoid the conflict or avoid the, whatever the situation is going to be. And one of the things for me, I find that, I don't want to say sad, it hurts the fact that they have to tell lies in order to protect themselves. But I get why they do it. And that would be another reason that I find it acceptable, that I find lying acceptable.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
No.
Did you say no? Okay, let me rephrase. I'm going to ask you a question.
There we go.
So we started this out by saying, can someone lie? Can someone lie and also be a good person? And I understand from what you're saying that generally speaking, you feel the answer is yes.
Yes.
When does the answer become no?
When they cross the line of intention.
Give me an example.
If their intent is to harm. So I'm grateful to say that I don't have a lot of these examples in my life.
Okay.
So I'm drawing from non-lived experience. But when somebody cheats on you and not only proclaims their fidelity, but also then puts it on you, becomes suspicious
like
of
gaslighting
you because they're doing something and so they're putting it on you, right?
Yeah.
So that to me, that lie, I'm not saying that cheating is good at any point in time, but had they had this indiscretion and come to me and said, I did something and whatever, we might still break up. We might still all the things, but I would still think they were a good person. Like, yeah, they effed up, but they effed up and we go on our own ways, whatever. However, had they lied about it and tried to hide it from me and then made me feel like I did something, that's when it's a no-go.
Okay.
But if they were honest with me, I still would be mad. I still would be all the things. We'd probably still not be together. However, I would not question them being a good person because I do think it happens. I think people make bad choices. They're in bad situations that they shouldn't have been in to begin with. But shit happens. You came to me. You said, I did something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a big one. So that's kind of on the other side of that scale that we've been talking about.
But it answers the question of, are they still a good person? To me, yes, they are. It does not negate everything else that we were to each other, everything else I thought about this person. It does not negate it for me.
So I just want to be clear, though. What you're saying is they're still a good person if they have done that act and told you about it. But what we were saying is, are they still a good person if they've done it and lied to you about it? Mm-hmm. And your answer there was no.
Not
then
for me.
They become not a good person.
That's right.
They're a bad person.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not that black and white. I never have been.
Yeah.
And so I probably would never go to they're a bad person. Mm-hmm. However, I could go, they're not a good person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or they're not a good person to me or for me. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't, like in every other aspect of their life, I don't know that it colors it for me. It wouldn't impact that. It would impact us.
Yeah.
And what we were.
Okay.
But
okay.
No, it wouldn't. If they were my accountant, and I'd probably still go to them as they're still a good accountant.
Okay.
Especially if they're going to do it for free.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not in a relationship with my accountant. She's a lovely person.
I was going to ask that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's accounting season.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we got into a big one, and the way we got into this was, can two things be true at once? Mm-hmm. And
well, I'm curious. I want you to answer the same thing for you in thinking about, especially the example. I mean, I know it was a very extreme example.
Yeah.
So the person comes to you and says, I did this thing. Mm-hmm. You know, so again, you're mad, you're all the things.
Yeah.
Are they now a bad person?
I actually think I agree with you, which is really interesting for me. Yeah, because again, it's coming back to that. I want to feel like someone feels they can tell me the truth. Mm-hmm. That is so important to me that someone sees me as that person. Mm-hmm. And so in that case, you know, they messed up as you said, but they
owned it.
At least respected me enough. Mm-hmm. That might be a weird thing to say in this scenario, but to tell me the truth. And so I could get on board more so with they're a good person who made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting to me that I agree with you on this one. Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me as well.
Yeah. And so for myself, I'm going to explore, I think, a little bit more around how important it is for me to feel like someone who can be told the truth.
Yeah.
Because that feels like a really big thing for me.
It really does. It really does. Because it feels different than, is that person a liar?
Yeah.
Instead, it's, why are they lying to me?
Right.
I should be easy to tell the truth to.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to lie to me. So years ago, this is when Tobin was a toddler. They lived in Florida. I was still in Greensboro. They came to visit. Tobin came to my office and I had this tray. And he was probably, 5 or 6. I had this tray and it had these shiny Christmas trees in it.
Yeah.
And they were glass trees. And I was on a call and I saw him take one of the trees and put it in his pocket. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then he and I went, and I didn't say anything. He and I went over to Chick-fil-A and we were sitting there and they had a play place and we were eating. And he was like, are you going to let me play in the play place? And I said, I was thinking about it, but only good boys get to play in the play place. I may not have used these words, but this is the way I'm remembering it. And I said, have you been a really good boy? And he was like, I have. And I said, do you think stealing allows you to be a good boy? And his little face. And he was like, I haven't stolen anything. And I said, well, Aunt Jeanine has a tray of shiny trees in her office. And one of them's missing. And he was like, what? I didn't take it, Aunt Jeanine.
So he really kept playing along.
And I said, honey, I saw you take it. If I looked in your pockets right now, would I find it? And he was like, and his little blue eyes were huge. Mm-hmm. And I was like, baby, I saw you take it. You need to show me. So he puts it on the table and he was like, I'm really sorry. Can I still be a good boy? And I was like, honey, you have to know that anytime you ask Aunt Jeanine for anything, I would give it to you. You don't take from Aunt Jeanine. Yeah. You ask for stuff and I'll give it to you. And you don't lie about it. Yeah. If you made a mistake, own up to it. Yeah. And then I was like, of course you can go play. Yeah. Go play.
You're such a good boy.
You're such a good boy. Anthony loves you so much.
Do you think he remembers that?
I don't, but I've actually mentioned it to him. Like, do you remember stealing that tree from me? You little shithead. That kind of thing. But, in that, like, did that color him? I know he's a kid, like the whole kid gets out of it. Now, had an adult done that, and then you go through the exercise, obviously I don't know what the balance of, you can't go in the play place. Until, I don't know what the balance is.
Right.
But, to say to me, no, I did not do the thing.
Yeah.
There's part of me that, wants to believe, like I said before, the curiosity. Why did they take that? Like, is it, do you think you can get money for it and you need something? Like, what do you need? But the same thing I said to him, like, typically if you ask me for something, if I can't make it happen, we're going to solution together and whatever. And so your need for people to be truthful to you, my different need is similar, but let me help you. Like if there's a reason you're going to lie to me or steal from me or whatever, then help me understand that so I can figure out how to help you.
Yes.
My sister might think we're both bleeding hearts right now. I'm playing this out, but I really do have a genuine heart for helping. And so I tend to believe the best until they show me the worst. So I don't know.
Which is a better way of thinking, I think.
I don't know if it's right or wrong.
I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying from my angle, it's less stressful, I would call it. That's a less stressful way of thinking, which I like.
Then implement it.
Cured.
There we go.
These are such great therapy sessions.
Another one solved.
You're so good at this. Hey, for anyone who doesn't know, Jeanine is a coach.
Right. Well, I think about like one of our first episodes, and we said that the reason I want to do this is because I want an audience.
Yes.
Well, we've now just discovered the reason Maria's doing it is because she wants free therapy.
There you go. It's working out for both of us.
But you know what? These conversations that we have, I mean, tell me if you think I'm wrong. These conversations that we have are the same conversations we would have, over dinner or when we're traveling together in the hotel room in a program.
We should bring dinner in here. Why don't we have dinner while we're having this conversation?
Because then we might show people our food while we're chewing.
That's right.
That's why. And then I would have to water floss.
Oh, gosh, this gets complicated. Okay, never mind.
We could bring cocktails in. I'm all in on that. We'd have to have an Uber driver, but we could definitely. Or Kathy.
Yes. Okay.
That'd be a good one.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean.
So so this has been a big one, but what are some other examples of things that we can talk about that are, I
want to go back to the lonely one, like being in a crowded room, right? So these two things, and I have that for sure. And I know you were like, yes. And so as much as we talk on this, and so obviously people see a different side of us, but people who know me really well know that I can and tend to be introverted. And so when I walk into a crowded room, either I'm looking for the people I know. I'm not the first one to go up to strangers and have a conversation. Weirdly, if I'm super, super uncomfortable, then I will because I need to do something to connect. But with that being said, there's been many times that I have been in a crowded room and just feel the loneliest I've ever felt. The face that you I'm talking about being super lonely and I'm bearing my soul and you are smiling to the point of you looked like you were going to burst into laughter at me.
I'm sorry. It was not what you were saying. It's that when you talked about walking into a room and you just have to, talk to someone, it made me have this thought of, I just don't know what to do with my hands. And I couldn't stop it. So
it was forming. I saw it. Like if you could have a thought bubble above your head, it would have been right there. Like that would be fabulous.
What do I do with my hands? So I was thinking about that. Sorry. I apologize.
It's fine. But all right, let's go back. Yeah. So yes, I mean, it's such an overwhelming to see all these people around you and still feel like you are an N of one. There's not another soul who gets you, whatever it is. And that is an awful feeling.
Now, you recently went to a conference all by yourself with no one you knew going. What was that experience like for you? Did you feel that way in the conference?
I was definitely anxious leading up to it, to the point where I thought, and I think I even said to you, if it wasn't going to be so beneficial, I would love to just cancel and just not go. Because, obviously I say things like, oh, I was young and stupid when I made the decision to come here.
Yeah.
But I knew it was something for our business that it was important to go. And once I got there, pulling into the parking lot, walking into the conference center, seeing all these people, especially because many of them had been, this is like an annual event, many had been there before and they'd created these relationships and whatever. And it was very uncomfortable. And I'm going to say something that you hate when I say it, fake it till I make it. I had that like, put your shoulders back, puff your chest up, just walk in and whatever. And so I made a conscious decision to behave differently and to talk to people and to whatever. With that being said, I also, when I would go into one of the new sessions, so the way it was set up, you'd go into like 4 sessions every morning and then 4 sessions in the evening. When I would go into the new session, I would find a way to look unapproachable because I was tired. I didn't want to make small talk. I didn't want to do the things that we know are as important to do. And yet I found myself doing them anyway, because many of those others were not. Jeanine, who's an introvert, they are flaming ease extroverts and want to talk to everybody around them, including the lamppost. And so I found myself drawn into these conversations that were wonderful. And so I'm so glad that I didn't, get on my phone or pretend or, I just need to respond to this email or, something that I could see myself normally doing.
So is the feeling alone in a crowded room topic, does that have to do with our inability to connect with others or unwillingness to connect with others? What do you think leads to that feeling?
I can only say for me, no, it doesn't. Okay. And this is a really sensitive topic to me. So I'm going to skirt. I'm not going to go too deep into it. But it is my insecurity about how I feel in my own body and skin. It is trying to be invisible in some cases because I've been a target before. And so if I can make myself invisible, then I can't be hurt. I can't be targeted. Okay. And so that really is it for me. And so it's my own protection most of the times. Other times it really is just about my need for quiet. Right. So I do insulate myself in some respects, and I've gotten better. When I say better, like I can cope with it more, knowing I have to tell myself when this is over, you can go to your hotel room and nobody else is around and you can regroup. So, and you don't have to say yes to anything you don't want to say yes to. You're a big girl now. You can do that stuff.
Remind yourself that you can make your own decisions.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
what is it for you?
I think it's feeling different than. Yeah. And
do you put yourself in that place though? Like, are you genuinely, and I say the same thing to myself, are you genuinely different? Or are you putting yourself like they're not like me?
I just think it is a feeling that's not as conscious.
Okay.
And I think we've talked about this before, but I mean, I have very early memories of when that began in my life of feeling different than other kids. There were things that I had to deal with that did make my life experience different, made me grow up quicker, and maybe not relate as much, I guess you could say. And so I think that's just carried with me in some respects of like, I guess I feel different. I think it's less now than it was before. I think as I get older, I get more comfortable, but
that is the beauty of aging, I will say. I agree with that statement. I think the other thing is, as far as the feeling different than, and I could say I would feel similarly, but I would not be surprised if maybe I'll go lower, 85% of the people that we speak to would also have a similar feeling.
I agree.
Right. And so there's 85% of people. So your room of 100 people, 85 of them feel different, but they either force themselves to show up differently. And so you just never know what's going on behind each person. And so having that, forcing yourself to make that connection or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, it's a strange and beautiful world that we live in, that all of us are walking around with all of these, like, I'm just going to call them issues or beliefs about beliefs about ourselves. And we still get up every day. Wow.
We make it happen.
We make it happen. Yes. We do. But the aging piece is helpful. Because it softens some of those sharp edges.
It does. It does. Yeah. That's one positive way of looking at it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So what are the other like examples that we were talking about as far as the two things at once? We talked about, being lying and being a good person. We talked about being alone in a room. Yeah. I think that ethics one, is a part of both or all. I think ethics is such a big part of everything that we talk about. Quite honestly.
Yeah. I would say, and we don't have time for this today because we really need to wrap up, but I would say that I started touching a little bit on the perception of what you see materially with people. It comes up with my son where, he believes that someone is, rich or whatever it is because they have X, Y, and Z. And, I try to help him understand that what you see isn't necessarily the reality of things. And so I think that's part of the conversation here today as well, that like two things can be true where they can appear to have it all together and behind the scenes, they're barely making it, and
absolutely.
And I think that's so important for so many of us to remember. Because especially with social media and all of the pressures that we have on ourselves to be like the other, or it's really most often not like it seems.
Most often.
And
yes, I had this person, I'm just thinking about it, like who used to work with me and always had like Louis Vuitton bags and just cutting edge. Her nails were always done, like just looked like she was living the good life. And I had never, I don't know why, maybe we just were never in the parking lot together. I'm not really sure. But one day we happened to be walking out at the same time and she got into a car that had seen better days, but more importantly had 2 donuts on and then 2 tires.
Okay.
And my father, I grew up with a father who was a mechanic. And so I just remember like the next day going, hey, do you need for me to take you to go get your car? And she's like, what do you mean? I said, I saw that you had donuts. I'm assuming like something happened. And she was like, girl, I've been riding on it like that for years. I can't afford new tires. And I was like, but you're getting your nails done every week. And I mean, every week. And you're carrying this Louis Vuitton, maybe it's a fake, like all the stuff that I thought I knew about her in that very small instant went completely out the window. And so it's really interesting because some of it to me, it's where you place your value.
Yep.
Is it on the car that brings you to work every day or is it on the stuff that people see about you? And I'm not judging. I don't know what the answer is. I grew up very practical. And so my car is going to be taken care of before my nails are going to be taken care of. I mean, I do my own nails, right? Because that's not where I place my value. It's not where I want to spend my money.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing, what you talk about with your son, having to, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
No.
And so what you see isn't always what you get.
Yeah. Or what you should believe. We always hear that seeing is believing. And honestly, I feel like that's less and less true as we move forward. When we talk about even AI and that sort of thing. But that's for another day. We have to wrap it up for today. Yes, indeed. So what do we get from this? Maria needs to be better with liars. Janine lies.
All the time. All the time. For comedy, for comedic effect. And for ethics.
Yeah, of course.
To not hurt somebody's feelings.
Sake.
For comedic or ethical reasons. Those are the reasons, but all the time. So there you go.
Okay, come back next time for more lies.
Judgments, lies. I'm a horrible, horrible human.
2 things can be true, Janine. Also a good one. Also a good human.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your honest opinions. They were helpful to me today in some way.
Well, and I always appreciate what you share too.
Well, thank you. So Thank you all for joining us. Please like, subscribe, join the conversation, as we always say.
We do have a Facebook group page, and we have to be honest, we are not great at it. We're learning, so we will do better. If we talk about something, we're going to try to post it. But if you want to join us there, YouTube, obviously wherever you listen, and email us at brainsgonebold@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear from you.
Yes. Until next time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.